Welcome to the Trainers Talk Show. And today we have with us Priya Rathore. So welcome to our talk show. And today we are going to discuss about your journey as a trainer. So I welcome you to the Trainers Talk Show.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you very much.
And would you like to introduce yourself for our audience?
I am a training consultant, corporate trainer, and a communication coach. It's been 15 years now. I think into training and coaching when I used to coach my participants, especially the place where I was working. So yes, it's been a wonderful journey. And I would say that it all started with me doing more of accent enhancement. I'm a voice and accent trainer into diction coaching, speech, enunciation, advanced grammar, and grammar concepts, also ensuring that the fundamentals of grammar are learnt well so that people have some accountability of whatever they speak, and then they know that people can trust them with their language skills especially.
Oh, amazing. So when you are doing all these things for your participants, there must be some incidents in your life which help you to think that yes, I can be a coach, I can be a trainer one day. So what inspired you to be a trainer?
I belong to the era where call centers, when they were a booming industry. So that's when it started. And I was doing very well on my calls. So I had a lot of appreciation calls also by my seniors and my managers. That's when my trainer, who was training me, she said, "Why don't you assist me? Why don't you also do training like I do?" And at that point in time, I was not really prepared. And I had never thought about it. So then I felt that yes, why not? I can do this. And I did. I started coaching, training people. That's where my journey began from. And I would say that I was able to bring and deliver results really fast because that is what I knew exactly the hacks on how I understood and I made my audience understand. And so I got some credibility as a trainer also. But then while I was doing accent neutralization and diction coaching, I felt like I was eating only dal and rice every single day. Doing the same thing every time. I said now I wanted to move away from accent training into something more meaningful. Though accent neutralization was a lot of fun, after some time you start to feel what else can I do? How can I bring more value to people and how can I make my trainings, and the learning experience that they would have more meaningful? And that's the time I did accent training. That was my first love, but also added a little more. So I got into soft skills and behavioral training. That's where I would say my training expedition began.
Awesome. The way you started your journey as a trainer. So it is wonderful to know that your qualities of performing towards excellence leads to helping other people so that they can also be on the verge of being excellent and they are generating the results for the organization, and organization found that there is a potential basically in you which can add it value to the organization. Great, really amazing to know all the details. So what exactly in your training field you enjoy most of?
Okay, that way if you go and ask any trainer, they would say the moment we step into the training room, the enjoyment starts. And if you're really passionate as a trainer, you will not feel that you're working even a single day. Every single thing that you do is joy in multitudes. But if still anybody would ask me, what is that part in a training session that we most enjoy? Obviously, apart from how are people learning, especially with the activities, and why did they do what they did, the debrief of it all encapsulates the entire experience that they went through. And then they are able to have more eureka moments that, okay, now I understand why this is important. I feel that when our trainees reach those eureka moments where they start to understand, okay, I now know why I did what I did and why is this going to be important for me in the future, that's the most essential part of the learning experience.
Great, amazing. So it is a wonderful thing when we talk about the feedback of our participants and the achievements they get because of our training is what really helps you to be, feeling that training as a career, training as a profession feels important for you. So with this, we have definitely some good moments, some challenging moments. And what are those challenges as a trainer you face? Being a trainer, definitely there are good things to be a good trainer, but also there are certain challenges which you may have.
Well, I would say that this training element, in fact, it brought a lot of discipline in me. Because if you train well, more than what you do well in the classroom, it's about what do you prepare well for. a lot of veteran trainers have told us that even for a 12 to 15 minutes training, you have to prepare for 1 hour, because you never know what questions would be there and what question might be thrown at you, and you do not even know how erudite is your audience. If at all you have someone in the room who really needs a little more value than you're delivering, then what? So we have to be prepared from all angles. Preparation is the key, more than just delivering. When I started as a trainer, obviously, how do I align myself with the audience and thinking about what kind of questions would be asked, and the most essential thing, are people really enjoying what I'm saying? Are they really enjoying the learning experience, or is someone being distracted? Is someone wanting to sleep? Is someone wanting to go out? Does someone feel that this is going to be like a really good utilization of time, or does someone feel that it is the waste of their time? These were the questions that I think every trainer has battled, and every trainer has had good and bad learning experiences. I wouldn't say that I had it all. I've also had those challenges where I felt that maybe I could add more value. On a particular day when I felt that this was not my best training, and maybe this was not, I could have done better, I went to my senior trainers and I told them. They said that if you look at everyone who comes as an office goer, everybody doesn't have their best day. So if they are sometimes allowed to fail, even a trainer sometimes should be allowed to fail, so that you are able to understand and reflect back what you did. Don't get too demoralized. If at all you've had one Friday the 13th, every day in your life is not going to be Friday the 13th.
Oh.
As a trainer, you will find many experiences where you will want to pick up the pieces of your life, pick up the pieces of that day, and then go on. Never give up. Don't say that, no, this is not for me, ye mere bas ki cheez nahi hai, ye mere bas ki baat nahi hai. If you get that kind of a feeling, that is not anything got to do with the components that you have to be a trainer. So to be a trainer, it's okay you fail, move on.
Amazing. Really wonderful. So it was a very wonderful to know that having a challenges, though it is a very common, but overcoming those challenges also plays an important role. At that time, the mentors came in our life and they help us to solve our own problems, solve our own challenges, and go beyond. Or we can say that the challenges are minimized because of our efforts and the guidance offered by the mentors. So, would you like to share some of your mentors who help you?
I've had many mentors. I would say almost everybody. In fact, the people whom I work with even now, some may be even new in training. I think we have a potential of learning from everyone. But I am someone who is from Reliance group of companies. So I started my career from there. And everybody who was a senior to me became my guiding light. Anybody who did the module more than or more number of hours than I did is someone whom I could learn from. So as a trainer, a very essential thing is that to never underestimate anyone, any trainer, no matter how big and small their experience is. You never know what they've faced. Maybe you never faced that. What if you can learn something from them? I have had mentors like Vikram sir, that I can say, Manoj sir and Paramita, and lot of them. Hi. And they have, in their own way, the best part is they haven't given up on me. There were some days which were Friday the 13th for me. And I felt that, oh my God, today it's going to be really it was a bad day. I don't know if I can have my job, if I can keep my job. But they said it's okay. Just take a deep breath. That kept me going.
Amazing, great. So when we talk about those differences with you and other trainers,
well, everybody also has battled their ground. Everybody has done some amount of, they've reached where they have with their life lessons. But if I have to talk about me, I would say that I'm very, very high on resilience. Now, how do I differ from the others? I may not completely know. Maybe my degree of resilience can be higher or lower, because I've seen myself fail also multiple times. Where not in front of the audience, but to myself, and I questioned that whether can I do this. I remember that I started training MBA students when I was not an MBA myself. And there was this one vertical within the Reliance group which needed a trainer. And I was chosen for the role after a lot of reluctance from Reliance, because I wasn't an MBA at that time. So it took them 3 months to only recruit me. Every time they would only come and stop at me. Why? Because I used to deliver a wonderful interview and negotiate very well. Yes. Because every time they would meet me, and then they would know, okay, though her profile doesn't state what we want, but she's good, because I would negotiate for my role in a way that that they would say that maybe if she's trainable, why not? That's when I started training MBA students, when I was not an MBA myself, and I even told them that I will be completing my MBA soon. So obviously, me training people on modules that I've never done, I still remember those days when I used to take project management and strategic management workshops, sessions and lectures. I would study the night before to deliver it next morning.
Oh, amazing.
Yes, that was good theory wise. But if you needed a little more depth, so I have seen that, when there would be, initially when I was doing those modules, if there used to be questions from the students about examples and a little more, so I would, I have seen myself telling them, that's a good question, I'll get back to you. No, that kind of a feeling. And then I would always tell myself that me asking them that, telling them I'll get back to you has to reduce. And it really has to. But never once did I go up to my management and say that I cannot do it. In fact, I would credit myself in saying this, that I haven't ever said no for any training that I felt I could do, even if I haven't done it before.
Great, great. So, setting up a goal and going towards your goal without having any hesitation for maybe going for a hard work or asking for a help, or maybe stretching yourself beyond your comfort zone. If we talk about the training as a career, what is your academic qualifications? Our audience would love to know that.
Okay. For training, you might not have an academic qualification, and I am a microbiology graduate. So that has got nothing to do with training. In fact, there was a time I questioned myself in my graduation years that why am I even doing it? I was working in a call center. I started with voice and accent training, and my journey went on. Then I did my MBA, Masters in Human Resource Management. So I did that, and after that I've done truckloads of certifications, including my NLP, then storytelling certification, then Master in Positive Psychology, Bachelor in Positive, and then Masters in Positive Psychology, IELTS training, a lot of other trainings. My VNA, Voice and Accent certification, was already there. I ensure that I keep learning, and if there is some certification to it, I add it as just a feather. But see, certification is not a guarantee that you can do your job well. Certification is just to certify you that yes, you've learned. Everything you have to do on your own. Yes, I really believe that that when people talk of certification, it's fair to get certified. But the one who is a certifying body, they never got certified on it. They are the ones who created it in the first place. So it all depends upon how much you know. Even if you're not certified on something and you're doing it, if you do it for many years, like you've invested more than 10,000 hours to gain mastery in something, you may not completely require certification. It takes a number of hours. So they say to master something, how many number of hours do we require? Well, 10,000 hours, as people say, that you might require to become a master in something and be really proficient, prolifically proficient in something.
Yes, maybe the book which was emphasizing on that is a book titled as Outlier, I think, in which this information is also given.
Yeah.
And it is also mentioned that how it is important for a person to pursue his goal in spite of not going beyond the, or not going behind the perfection, but also trying and doing. Great, great, amazing, ma'am. So, would you like to share some of your techniques, we can say methods or something which can be helpful for upcoming trainers or a young beginner trainers?
Well, there are a lot of questions that are asked. In fact, a lot of people who wish to pursue training as a career, they always come up and ask questions like, which is the best certifying body? Where do I get my trainer certification from? Should I start as an image consultant? Should I do this course? Should I do that? Because there are many in the market and they are all doing a good job. I would still suggest the old method, because I am a little old school in this. You can do your certifications from anywhere, but are you really getting a platform to train first? I feel that there is no better bet than an organization that you join. So let's say if you are part of the learning and development team, the training team of any organization, you get umpteen opportunities to test your training skills. And when you're doing it in your organization, even if you fail, that's okay. You're not doing it outside. Versus you getting certified and you trying out on your own as a freelance trainer, you're out in the market, you have to deliver the value. Why? Because they are all looking for this. They've paid you money on an hourly basis, you have to give them value. Otherwise, they not only will stop having faith in you as a trainer, they might stop having faith in training as a process. So I would say going unprepared into the market would mean me only certifying myself as a trainer and saying, making a declaration that, okay, now I'm good to go. You're never good to go just because you're certified. You are good to go when you have done that kind of training workshop many times.
Yes, and while delivering training also, a trainer gets insights
Yes.
about the process, about the value addition which is being done, what is the feedback of the audience, how the audience is receiving that information, how they are going to get the benefit of that information, actual implementation on their processes. It's really wonderful to know all the details from you. So it is wonderful to know all the details from you. So when we talk about the learners, those who are being trained by you, so how you help them to achieve their goals, and what are the goals of your learners they are coming up? I would say the goals are based on the objectives that they have. So let's say some people have an objective that in a session where people want to do business communication. So what is my objective? My objective is that I get aligned with, there are some points. If someone wants to have an emotional intelligence training, so they want to learn a little bit about emotional resilience and how to control emotions. And so these are objectives that people would have per session. But if we talk about coaching objectives, obviously with me being a communication coach, people mainly come to learn how they can speak better, which means that whether my grammatically sound I am. So someone comes for language training, they want to know that whether I'm speaking in grammatical precision. So my job is to build the grammatical precision, show them the mirror that this is right and this is wrong, make them work on it, and use the power of repetition. So in all my coaching programs, I build repetition for them in such a way that every learning is not part of their conscious memory, but it is part of their subconscious memory, where speaking in the right manner becomes your habit. For a longer duration of time. And you no longer will go back to your old route. Right. And for that, my coaching methodology is that they have to send me a lot of voice notes till they become okay. Be it grammar, or be it, there's another session of mine which is called art and articulation, where people learn to articulate better in two ways. One is the what I say, and second is the how I speak. So which has obviously the how part will have voice modulation, it has accent and the like. Great, amazing. So in the communication field also there are niche categories which you serve, like a pronunciation, voice and accent. So it is really wonderful to know all the details from you about this field. So would you like to share some of the resources, like books, websites, or some resources for our audience, so that they can follow those books or authors or websites or something like that? Correct. The field that I train and coach people in, there are people who come to learn because they are in a position where they are always speaking in a very high stake public speaking situation. So I am currently coaching a lot of pageant contestants. What you speak is going to be relevant. So you see, in that window of time, how you speak and what you speak becomes your identity. So what are you going to do? How are you going to coach people for that situation? Or even if you're talking for, doing coaching for someone who is a public speaker, or they have a public speaking engagement which is very high stake for them. So mainly preparing them, prepping up for that, so that objective is already clear. I always tell people that reading books is fine, but learning and doing repetition using technology, especially AI tools or that you have. So there are a lot of AI tools that people can learn from. In fact, the best place that I can tell everybody, being a Toastmaster myself, the best place that people can learn to speak really well and actually practice, being a Toastmaster myself, I would say it's Toastmasters International. So if someone really wants to know how exactly can they execute well and create an impact, there's no better place than Toastmasters International. I am a Toastmaster myself. You will always get a ready-made audience when you are in Toastmasters. It's more like, okay, if I want to learn how to swim, would I read books on swimming or would I jump into the pool? It's just that. It's very clear. Hisab barabar hai. You want to speak, find yourself an audience, find yourself a platform from where you can speak. So I would say Toastmasters is one. Besides that, you have a lot of AI tools for grammar correction and everything. So yes, we can do that. Great, amazing. So when we talk about the training as a career, there might be some mistakes. So would you like to share some details about some common mistakes the trainers may do and how to overcome those mistakes? Correct. So firstly, I would say that if anybody wants to be a trainer, first they need to be very clear that you want to be a trainer and you want to be a facilitator, because it may look nice from the
when you're looking at someone going and talking there, delivering value, whether can there, I have seen so many trainers within 3 years they are not training anymore. I have seen a lot of trainers in these years who began training along with me, but they are not training anymore. They are doing something else. Obviously, they must have got better options. The first thing is be very clear what you want to do. Training is not, if you are good at public speaking, doesn't necessarily mean that you are a good trainer. If you're a good public speaker, it's because you have confidence. That does not make you a facilitator. That does not make you a good coach. So there has to be an intent. If your intent is high, then it's a good. And I've also seen a lot of people being less prepared and asking around for a lot of resources. Like I've seen in many WhatsApp groups or otherwise Facebook groups, they're asking for content. Does anybody have a PPT on this? And it's okay to ask around if you are, but it also talks about whether am I prepared or no. If you're asking for guidance, that's a good thing. So asking for guidance, asking a little more, to have an in-depth understanding about a concept. So asking for an in-depth understanding about the concept is still good. But if a trainer asks only content, then I would say that it talks a lot about the unpreparedness of the trainer.
Yes, definitely. So preparation is also one of the important things a trainer must be doing.
Yes.
Great. So it is very important to have, overcoming the mistakes, understanding the mistakes and going away from those mistakes and creating our better future. So being a trainer, there are certain recent trends or upgradation in the field of training industry. So what are the key trends which are there in the field of communication coach or a communication trainer that which you are observing and how it is impacting the life of your audience?
I would say coaching is going to go big time. Everybody is looking for coach. Honestly, I also, if I really feel that I want to be coached on something, I go ahead and I join a particular program. So being a trainer also, I know that we are all lifelong learners and we are wanting to create everybody as learners also. So it's very essential. Training is definitely going to be getting into coaching also. I would say every trainer is going to coach on something or the other. And when you say that you can coach anybody, that means now your audience goes from B2B to B2C, where you will have very intentional learners who are joining the program. They are paying money or they are investing time to do that particular workshop. So which means that there is a higher responsibility on the trainer's shoulders to deliver them the value they are looking for. And it's very essential. You could be anybody. You could be someone who is coaching somebody on tarot reading, how to read tarot cards. So people will come for that. Or people have taken up a course about wellness coaching, okay, or someone wants to know how to sleep well, or someone wants to know how to breathe well. There is umpteen scope for, I would say, coaching. And the only thing you need to also know that if someone is coming to you for coaching, their expectations are high. And this is not a B2B where it's all right. Sometimes it's a calendar tick mark activity. You can get away with that. Or you make your audience happy. You get a good score on feedback, 4.9 on 5 or 4.8, and then you're happy. No, it is not so. When a person will feel that, yes, I can remember what they have coached me on and actually use that knowledge to build your life or to become better in whatever you wanted to be coached on. When it delivers value to you, that's the only time it works. And there is no other way around.
Great.
No other way.
Amazing. So following these trends, following this insightful, journey of a trainer, it really creates an impact on the audience life. Definitely, I would like to share one of my story with you about this because I am being into the teaching field, I am into the field of education. I also come across one situation when I was not in a position to teach my students. I was hospitalized. I got diagnosed with jaundice. And that time I recorded audio notes, and those audio notes later converted into a video. And that is how my video channel, or you can say YouTube channel, has started way back in 2014. So maybe 10 years back from now. But that was the pure intent which was there, that I want to help my students to learn better. I wanted to help my students to learn with the help of technology. And that's how, as you said, though there are trends coming up, but if your intent is strong, if you are having the mindset related to helping your audience to grow from step A to step B, step C, like that, then definitely the trainer is creating more value for their audience. And with this, I would like to ask you, how is your overall experience about the Trainer's Talk Show? I would say that your Trainer's Talk Show is that one show in which I also felt like, what is that I need to reflect upon
in terms of what kind of answers should I be able to give, so that if anybody who listens to this talk show can get benefited from it. So the Trainers Talk Show, I would say it has given me an opportunity to be able to pour out my heart here, and also to ensure that anybody who's listening to the talk show will be able to get some idea or some inkling about anything. And even if 1%, whatever I've said, reaches to someone, I would say that my job is done. Firstly, I like everything about it. There is no complaining. I really like the setup that you have, the facility that you have, technology that you use, and people assisting you, everything. You have a mind about what works, and you've been into it for long. So yes, I would say that if anybody wants to really get into having a successful podcast, coming to you, Rohan Homkar, is going to be, I would say, the best bet. And apart from that, with the ease that you conduct your podcast, I have poured out my heart, and I'm so sure anybody who sits right across you, you're on the hot seat, here, they will have similar feelings, I would say. Yes, it's been very good, and I didn't even feel it was happening, like a podcast over camera. I just felt that I was talking to you. That is how comfortable you made me feel. As a person, I know you are a very warm and an approachable person, and I think this is the kind of person with whom we can deliver a really good podcast. The quality.
Great, amazing. So I really thank you for being a part of the Trainers Talk Show, sharing your journey and inspiring our audience to become a trainer in their life, or also getting the help from the different trainers. You being on our podcast, I really thank you for sharing your insights and wish you all the best in your future. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and I'm so glad I came here. Thank you.
Perfect. For more episodes of the Trainers Talk Show, you can visit our website, that is www.thetrainerstalkshow.co.in. Thank you, Priyaji, for joining us on the Trainers Talk Show. We wish you a great success in your life.
Thank you very much, Rohan. And to everybody watching, I must say that if you really are looking at some kind of visibility that you want to build for yourself, podcast is a really good way of doing that. And who better than Rohan Homkar himself, the man who's made me feel so comfortable throughout, giving me a tour of his entire place and making me feel so comfortable and everything. I would say that this is the right place for you to start with your podcast journey. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rohan, for all this.
Thank you, ma'am, for joining us. And for more episodes, you can visit our website and different social media handles. Thank you so much.